my 7-year-old daughter used her fancy fencing lessons to humiliate a pair of arrogant, loud-mouthed tech bros in a busy airport terminal. I was exactly 3 seconds away from losing my mind and possibly my airport security clearance when my 7-year-old daughter Maya absolutely dismantled 2 grown, self-important tech bros in the middle of a packed departure gate at O'Hare International Airport. Look, I get it. My ex-husband, he's a piece of work. He insisted on enrolling Maya in this ultra-exclusive private fencing academy downtown. He claimed it would teach her discipline, poise, and the tactical mind of a strategist. Well, let me tell you something, folks. It did not teach her poise. It did not teach her to be a gentle, refined little lady. All it did was give my kid the lightning-fast reflexes and the sharp, cutting vocabulary to absolutely eviscerate anyone who dared to annoy her. It was a Tuesday morning. We were exhausted. We had been traveling since 4 in the morning. I was wearing my most comfortable, baggy-stained sweatpants, a giant hoodie that hadn't seen the inside of a washing machine for a few days, and I was holding a lukewarm, oversized coffee, looking like an absolute train wreck. Maya was standing right there next to me, wearing her favorite, oversized dinosaur onesie, with a pair of light-up, flashing astronaut boots, and she was aggressively tearing through a bag of extremely crunchy, loud salt and vinegar chips. We were minding our own business, just trying to find a place to sit, when these 2 guys, probably in their late 20s, plopped down right next to us. They were wearing matching, overpriced designer vests, AirPods, and they were talking so loudly, they were practically shouting over the entire terminal. They looked like they had just walked off the set of a terrible, low-budget corporate training video. They were busy bragging about their startup culture, their disruptive algorithms, and their unlimited vacation policies, while smelling like strong, overpriced cologne and absolute pure narcissism. They started whispering and laughing and glancing over at us. Then they switched to what I assume was some kind of coded, pretentious business jargon mixed with a bit of Spanish. Now, I don't speak a lick of business bro speak, but I know the sound of a bully. I know the sound of a guy who thinks he's better than everyone else in the room. One of the guys looked directly at my messy hair, scoffed loudly, and muttered a sentence of absolute condescending nonsense. Maya's chip chewing stopped instantly. She slowly looked up at me. Her eyes were completely cold. They were like the eyes of a tiny, pint-sized professional duelist who just realized her opponent had committed a massive tactical error. I leaned down and I whispered, "Maya, honey, what did that guy just say?" Maya didn't even blink. She just stared at them with a look of pure, unadulterated judgment, and she whispered back, loud enough for them to hear. He said, "You look like a homeless person who lost a fight with a lawnmower, and that your life choices are, quote, a complete dumpster fire of a tragedy." My jaw hit the floor. Before I could even process the sheer stunning audacity of it all, the second guy laughed. He pointed a manicured finger right at Maya's flashing, light-up astronaut boots, and he muttered something else, sounding incredibly smug. I felt my blood pressure hit the ceiling. "What did he say now, Maya?" I asked, my voice rising. Maya took one long, slow, and incredibly dramatic sip of her juice box. She sighed, with the weight of the world on her small, dinosaur-clad shoulders. He said, "My boots are a crime against the modern aesthetic, and that I look like a sad, lonely little kindergartner who is clearly lacking in basic style." I opened my mouth, ready to let these guys have it, but before I could even get a word out, Maya held up one tiny, sticky hand. She didn't look at me. She turned around, slow, deliberate, and terrifyingly calm. She stared directly into the soul of the first guy, who was mid-sentence about some cryptocurrency. "Guardia," Maya said. Her voice was like a flick of a blade. The 2 guys froze. Their eyes went as wide as saucers. They had absolutely no idea what was happening, but they knew they had messed up. Maya didn't stop. She looked at the first guy and said in her most clear, unbothered American voice, "My mom might look like a tired, messy human disaster right now, but at least she's a real person. You, on the other hand, look like you spent 5 hours in a mirror this morning, trying to convince the world that you actually have a personality. And we all know you're just a giant, empty corporate shell." The entire terminal went dead silent. A kid 3 rows away stopped crying. You could hear the hum of the airport lights. The guy gasped, clutching his laptop bag like it was a lifeline. "Excuse me?" he stuttered. Maya just tilted her head, completely, utterly unfazed. She popped another chip in her mouth. "And you," she said, pointing a sticky, accusatory finger at the second guy. "You have no business talking about my astronaut boots when your hairline is receding faster than your startup is going to go bankrupt. You look like you're trying to hide a massive mental meltdown under that cheap vest." I swear on everything. A TSA agent nearby just turned around and completely hid his face behind a wall to keep from absolutely losing it. His shoulders were shaking. He was laughing so hard. The first guy turned bright, beet red. He grabbed his friend, shoved his laptop into his bag, and they practically sprinted away toward a different gate, looking absolutely defeated. Maya turned back around, calmly adjusted the tail of her dinosaur onesie, and looked up at the shocked, terrified lady at the newsstand counter. "Un chocolate, por favor," she said. She gave the lady the most innocent, sweet, angelic smile you have ever seen. The woman, who looked like she had just witnessed a total annihilation level event, slowly handed her a giant, expensive chocolate bar and whispered, "That one is on the house, kid. Keep doing what you're doing." Maya took a massive bite of the chocolate, looked up at me and smiled. "See, Dad?" she said. "The fencing lessons are finally paying off."